Hi, St. Monica families. This is Mrs. Last, and this message is serving as the first state of the school for our new school year. I hope that you all have had a wonderful and safe summer. I'm so excited to start a new school year. I'm so excited that we get to say yes to a lot more activity in the building and positivity as well. As you know, our COVID-19 plan was sent out last week. Thank you for all of the support, kind emails, and great questions. So I am going to answer as many of those questions as I can in this video. The first one was K-3 classrooms. What will it look like? Masking is optional for K-3, and we will treat the K-3 classrooms as a cohort, just like we did last year. Frequent sanitizing of toys will occur, good hand washing will occur, and just reminding kids of keeping distance to the best of their ability, although they are 3, so that's why we want to make sure that we're keeping them as a cohort. It's just a little bit more trickier. Next question, why do vaccinated teachers need to be masked? Current recommendations from the AAP and CDC is that all students and staff, regardless of vaccination status, should be masked inside schools. The question about will home tests be accepted? We are still waiting on a response from the North Shore Health Department, so stay tuned for that response. Will kindergarten parents be able to walk their children through the building? The answer is yes, with masks. Can we eat peanut butter again? Peanut butter will be allowed in the cafeteria as it was pre-COVID. It will not be allowed in the classroom, but it will be allowed in the cafeteria. So yay to peanut butter if we have some peanut butter lovers there. And if you're allergic to peanut butter, we will have that special table as we did pre-COVID to keep your kiddo safe as well. The next question was, why are you not listening to the data of parents on masking? More people don't want masking. So we did not use the survey results to override parents. The survey also did not serve as a vote. It was an information gathering tool. The survey does conclude that the majority of people want some form of masking. So everyone who participated in the survey, out of everyone should wear masks, it was 14.8%. Everyone should wear masks, but just not outdoors, 18%. Only unvaccinated individuals should have to wear masks with 17.7%, and then unvaccinated as well as not outdoors was 15.5%. When we look at all of those data points together, 56% of people want masking of some sort. But again, it was just an information gathering tool. It was not a vote. It wasn't a tool to override parents. It was just an information gathering tool for us in our decision-making process. Why aren't you having an open forum to discuss these decisions? So the decisions are made based on medical evidence and the advice of medical professionals. Again, the survey was not a tool to use as a vote. Reevaluation. If the school masks children, then there needs to be clear metrics for reversing this decision. This is not stated and it needs to be. We intend to reevaluate and monitor the situation. We are currently following the guidance of our local health department as well as the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. Both have stated that community transmission rates need to be below high or moderate for any individual, regardless of vaccination status, to be unmasked indoors. Currently, transmission rates are high. They recommend schools are universally masked with no mention regarding transmission rates. We have to rely on our local experts for directions regarding public health matters. We are a school. We are not a hospital or a clinic. Districts across the state have evaluated mask optional policies and implemented them, including districts in our area, public and Catholic schools. We needed to make a decision based on what we felt was best for our community. It was the same as last summer when we went through what our protocols were. Our protocols did not match exactly what Whitefish Bay was doing or exactly what our partnering schools were doing, because the decisions needed to be what was in the best interest of our St. Monica community. So that is the answer to that question. We will never be to zero. We need to move on. These kids have not masked all summer. We never stated that COVID numbers had to be at 0 for us to release masks. We'll continue to monitor the situation. It is my hope and the hope of the COVID committee that we are going to be able to loosen mask guidelines throughout the school year, or as transmission rates lower. We don't want to have to wear masks all the time. That's not anyone's preference, but it is the recommendation of the health professionals. What is the plan for mask breaks? It's absolutely wrong to mask children without a break all day, every day. Students in grades 1 through 5 will have 3 20-minute recesses per day in addition to lunch. They are not required to wear their masks outside during recess. Teachers at their discretion to use outdoor spaces for class. So just as we did last year, we will have those outdoor learning spaces available to teachers in the fall and again in the spring, and we will encourage teachers to take the kids outside as often as possible for their learning environments. What is the basis for the decision to require masks when it is known that children have a remote chance of a serious problem, even if they do catch COVID, and there are other negatives to wearing masks when considering the whole health of our children? So there seems to be a bit of a misconception that our goal is that no child gets sick. That's not our goal. We understand that children are going to get sick. We also understand that children may get COVID. Our goal is to keep students learning in person. That was our #1 goal last year, is to stay open for in-person learning and keep everyone safe. The goal is exactly the same as it was last year. While COVID may not cause serious problems in a majority of children, or does not cause a loss of in-person learning, both for the COVID positive individual, those deemed to be close contacts, we want to make sure that kids are in school. And so we're trying to do all the tiered mitigation as best that we can so that students can be in school. We all don't like virtual learning. It was not the best way to do school, and it was very difficult for students. It was very difficult on families and on teachers. So we're trying to do our best with mitigation so that we don't end up having to do virtual learning as often. Why is it reasonable to rather ask parents who assess that wearing masks is not in the best health interest of their children to make their children do this? As educators, we are qualified and trained to make the best educational decisions for the entire student population. Myself as a school leader, I have to rely on the advice of public health officials whose job it is to make these recommendations. I need to be able to lay my head down at night, making sure that our whole community, school community, A, has access to in-person learning, and B, is safe while doing so. And so I need to rely, in the community, the school community needs to rely on the public health officials to help us make those decisions, because it's their job too. Why are the quarantine protocols different when someone was in close contact with someone who has COVID? So the quarantine protocols are defined by the CDC, the health department, and DHS. They're all located on those 3 web pages for your references. K4 and K5 half-day families. Okay, sorry, I have a bunch of notes here. So that's it for the COVID questions. I did try to, answer as many as I could, and I think I covered just about everyone. If there are additional questions that I may have missed on accident, or you just thought of after the deadline, you may still send them to the COVID committee email address, and I can address them during next week's State of the School. But I have other school announcements, which are really exciting because it just shows that we are on the path to normalcy for our school year. K4 and K5 half-day families, I just wanted to give you a quick note that your half-day kiddos will be within the full-day classrooms. I think a lot of people knew this, but it wasn't written anywhere, and I'm sorry for that. It wasn't a secret. I wasn't trying to hold back any information. I just assumed that people were aware, and I shouldn't have done that, so I apologize. We'll make sure that it's a seamless transition and that they don't feel as though they're missing out on anything special in the classroom. Bike racks will be outside of the full day K3 entry on Santa Monica. So please have your biking students come into school on the Santa Monica side, as well as walkers. Only car riders should be in the parking lot, and you'll be dropping off on the parking lot side by the column doors. You'll see myself or our new assistant principal, Emily, Friday at those doors greeting the kids every morning. I did have the Whitefish Bay police here over the summer to give some ideas and feedback on how we can make our pickup and drop off more safe, and that was the recommendation of the police department. We have 5 new wonderful staff members that I want to briefly introduce to you. We have a new full day K3 teacher. Her name is Catherine Steinhaus. We have a new half-day K-3 teacher. Her name is Sarah Imbert. We have a new K-4 teacher whose name is Julie McGrath. And then we have 2 new 4th grade teachers whose names are Jennifer Lubeck and Kelly Steinberg. And then, of course, we have our new assistant principal who will be working part-time alongside me, Ms. Emily Friday. And she will be doing a brief introduction of herself along with the weekly read out loud this week. So get to know her a little bit as well. Mr. Bradford will be moving into junior high science, and we will be adopting a new junior high science curriculum called Amplify. I will give you more information about that from the parent side, hopefully next week, the first week of school. It's super exciting. We're excited about it. Lots of hands-on learning opportunities and some digital platform work as well. So we're excited about that. Mr. Monahan opened new chapters in their books, and they may always call SMS home. So they did move on over the summer. Mrs. Kincaid also moved on over the summer, but she welcomed a new bundle of joy into their family and will be staying home. This year, in addition to the mitigation plan, there are following important ideas and things to note. We will no longer have early release on Wednesdays. Please send water bottles and masks to school daily. There will not be a printed directory this year. We are working through a new transition to a different student information system. So currently we use option C. We are going to start the year using option C, but we're working on transitioning to Power School. And once that transition finishes, the parent portal will allow for you to gain access electronically to our family's addresses and phone numbers in the same fashion you would be able to gain them in the printed directory. We just aren't there quite yet, but we hope to be there in the next few weeks. You will receive the contact information for all of the students within your children's grade level. So you still will get that information, and it's either going to come out the day before Forms and Fees Day or at Forms and Fees Day for your reference. New this year, we'll be having coffee chats with the principals. So these will occur the second Friday of the month and will function as an opportunity to ask questions, give feedback, and get to know your leadership team. I'm really looking forward to this because I feel like last year, it wasn't until the spring that I started to get to put faces and names together, and just being able to have open dialogue with all of you is an exciting opportunity to grow. We are working on branding our amazing school. We started the summer with a few classrooms getting a fresh new coat of paint on the first floor hallway. And thank you to Ms. Wallner for her outstanding skill set with painting. So I think that's it from me for now. I answered as many COVID questions as I could. I had some random updates. I'm really looking forward to a successful school year. We will continue to do weekly state of the schools. It will vary between myself and Mrs. Friday, or a combination of the both of us, and the weekly read alouds will also continue. As always, I hope that you are well, and I hope that you all stay safe, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Take care.